Hello everyone, welcome to Itishree's tutorial. Today in this video we are going to discuss a detailed summary of Paradise Lost. Though it's a very long poem, we will discuss all the 12 books from exam point of view. It was written by John Milton. Its first edition got published in 1667 with 10 books and second edition or the revised edition got published in 1674 with 12 books. Now let's know some facts about John Milton. John Milton belongs to Renaissance period. He often called as the late Renaissance poet. He claimed a place among the very greatest writers of this period. He wrote this poem when he was in depression of losing his eyesight. And the main objective to write this poem was to justify the ways of God to man. And it's a story of men's disobedience. This story gives a clear glimpse of social, political and religious right of an individual. It was written in blank verse and based on the story of Book of Genesis. Now let's move to the summary of Book 1. Book 1 opens with an invocation to the muse Urania. Here Milton's muse is the Holy Spirit, which inspired the Christian Bible rather than one of the muses fallen in Book of Genesis. In the story of Book 1, God has thrown some angels from heaven to hell. Lucifer or Satan was the leader of these fallen angels. When Satan and other fallen angels woke up and found themselves in hell, they became rebellious. Here, Satan proudly says, "Mind is its own place and it can make heaven of hell and hell of heaven." Guys, another name of hell it is used in this poem is Tartarus. Then Satan, as the leader of fallen angels, ordered them to make a meeting hall or a conference hall. And according to the advice of Satan, all the fallen angels made a senate hall called Pandemonium, which is the city, capital city of hell, where Satan addresses other fallen angels. Here Satan delivers a dialogue proudly that is, it is better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. Now, Book 2. In Book 2, we found that all the fallen angels, including Beelzebub, Belial, Mammon and Malus, having a meeting at the Pandemonium. Malus suggests for another war to take revenge from God, and Beelzebub says the best way to take revenge from God is to make God unhappy. Here some asks how to make God unhappy. He says by making mortal men corrupt, we can make God unhappy. All the rebel angels agree with him and vote anonymously in favor of Beelzebub's plan. And Satan was also happy with this plan. He plans to visit earth to corrupt the mortal men. He tries to pass the gate of hell. There he found his offspring, sin and death, as god of hell gate. Satan was unaware about his offspring, sin and death. Sin looks like a woman from top, and towards bottom it was a serpent having pack of howling dogs around her waist. And death is only a dark shape. Sin says that he was sprang forth from his head, from Satan's head, and then he means Satan impregnated sin, who gave birth to death. After listening to sin and death, Satan continues his journey, and on his way he made chaos, confusion and discord. Next is Book 3. Again in Book 3 opens with an invocation to Muse, but this time the Muse was only Holy Light. Milton prays Holy Light to help because he was suffering from blindness. That side, God has been watching with his son and sees man can easily fall of his own fault, because God has given him free will. Yet without that will, men wouldn't capable of a sincere love. God knows that if we will eat the forbidden fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge. On the other hand, Satan was not finding the Garden of Eden where God's best creation, Adam and Eve, are living. The Garden of Eden is very beautiful, where there is only spring season throughout the year. So in disguise, Satan landed on earth, which is now in China. He found an archangel called Uriel and chased her to show the garden. Innocent Uriel was unable to recognize the disguised Satan. So she happily points out the way to paradise. Now book 4 again opens with another invocation to the muse, Urania. In Paradiselost, total there are three invocations to muse. In book 1 and book 4, invocation to muse Urania. In book 2, to holy light. Satan has reached in the garden and got jealous on finding Adam and Eve happy. Here, Satan disguised as a toad tried to tempt them to eat the forbidden fruit. On the other hand, Uriel was observing Toad, the disguised Satan, who was in an internal debate. On seeing the innocence of earth, thinking to return heaven, Satan was thinking to return heaven, but he still couldn't bear to bow down. So he doesn't notice that during his internal debate, he has revealed his devilish nature and was being observed by Uriel. Then Satan leaps over the thickest wall of Eden garden like a wolf. Uriel and other archangels realized that they have been tricked by Satan, and they reached in the garden immediately, found Satan and drove him away. Book 5 says, Raphael and archangels sent by God to visit Adam and Eve to remind them not to eat the forbidden fruit from the forbidden tree of knowledge and warned them about the upcoming danger towards them. On seeing Raphael, Adam asks about the result of war between good angel and bad angels. Raphael tells the story. He says, Lucifer was the beloved angel of God, but when the Son of God comes to existence, he becomes jealous and decides not to serve God any longer. Satan decides to rebel. So he persuaded 1/3 of the other angels to join him. An angel Abdul, who was first on Satan's side, but later he returned to God. The great war between angels continued for 3 days. Raphael says the great war between angels continued for 3 days. On the 3rd day, God sent his son to save the good angels as a Messiah. As a result, Son of God or Messiah saved good angels and threw the bad angels to the hell. Book 6. In Book 6, Raphael tells about Abdul, who confronts Satan and other rebel angels and tells them that their defeat is imminent and he returns to heaven. God appoints Archangel Gabriel and Michael, the leaders of heaven's army. At last, the Son of God drives them out of the gate of heaven through a hole in heaven's crown. They fall for 9 days through chaos before landing in hell. Then Raphael warns Adam that Satan has begun to plot the doom of mankind. Book 7. The entire story of creation was narrated by Raphael to Adam in Book 7. Then Raphael starts narrating how this universe and world was created. The creation takes 6 days. He says the creation takes 6 days. The entire act of creation done through the Son of God. And on the 7th day, he rested. The total creation takes 6 days, and on 7th day, he takes rest. He rested, which is known as Sabbath. Son of God made man on his own image to govern the whole creation. Now book 8. Adam became curious and wants to know about planets, universe and galaxy. Here Raphael wants him not to be curious about heavenly knowledge. He should concerned only for earthly knowledge. Then Adam narrated to Raphael how he and Eve were created by God. He says he was living very happy. He was living happily, but after some day he felt alone. He felt lonely. He asked God to give him a companion. He prayed God to give him a companion. Then God created Eve from Adam's ribs. One day when Adam was sleeping, God created Eve from Adam's ribs. God placed both to live happily and enjoy everything of the garden and warned them not to eat the forbidden fruit. Here it says, of fellowship I speak, such as I seek fit to participate. All rational dealing wherein the brute cannot be human confront. Before Raphael leaves, he reminds Adam no matter how big their temptation is, Adam can always use his free will and say no to it. After that, Raphael takes leave to return heaven. Book 9 is the longest book of the Paradise Lost. It tells the story of fall of men. Satan returns to earth of 8th day after he was caught and banished by Gabriel. And now he disguised as a serpent. And that day, Eve and Adam were working separately. When Eve was doing gardening, Satan followed her and starts talking to Eve. Eve got surprised and think, how can a snake talk? Satan in the disguise of serpent tells Eve that because she had eaten the forbidden fruit from the forbidden tree, he can speak. Again he tells, even if she will eat the fruit, she will become the goddess. In this way, Satan keeping on tempt Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. And finally, Eve gives up and eats the fruit. Adam was horrified when he gets to know Eve has eaten the fruit, but he doesn't want to lose Eve. He doesn't want to lose Eve. So he wants to share her fate because they were bound to each other. If she dies, he must also die. In this manner, Milton portrays Adam as a heroic figure, also as a greater sinner than Eve, because he was aware of what he was doing is wrong. Book 10. In Book 10, God, Gabriel and other angels immediately know about the eating of Adam and Eve's eating of fruit. Then they are called by Son of God. Both of them came and admitted their fault. Adam and Eve punished for their disobedience. They are thrown out from the Eden garden. Eve was told that she and all women's sorrow will be multiplied by bearing of children. Adam was told that now he has to work hard for his bread and butter. In earth there will be changing of seasons and other natural calamities. Before they were living in Eden garden and there was only one season, that is spring season. But now they have to face the changing seasons and natural calamities. Satan on the other hand tells her son and daughter to start living on earth. Adam and Eve lose the grace of God and thrown out from the Garden of Eden. Son of God orders that all snakes now must crawl on their belly, never to carry themselves upright again. Book 11. Adam and Eve praise God. God hears their prayer, inspired by His own grace. He allows His Son to act as an advocate for humankind. He sent Archangel Michael to go down to earth and escort Adam and Eve out of paradise. Michael shows vision of future that the two men, Cain and Abel, killing each other, and he tells Adam that they are sons of Adam, future sons of Adam. He tells by leading a good and moral life they may be reunited with with God, but after their death. Book 12. In Book 12, Michael shows Adam, the Son of God, Christ, and tells that Christ will appear on earth to save mankind from their sin. Again, Michael says they have in a virtue such as love, faith, temperance, patience. Then they will always live in a paradise. They finally left. Michael says them a paradise within the happier far. This is the end of Paradise Lost. Here, the romantic poets William Black and P.B. Shelley saw Satan as the real hero of the poem and applauded his rebellion against the tyranny of heaven. Now, let's know the works have been inspired by Paradise Lost are Joseph Haydn's The Creation, John Keats and Amen. Guys, this is the summary of 12 books of Paradise Lost. Now, I will show you some questions based on Paradise Lost. Actually, it's a home task for you all, guys. You will take the screenshot and give the answer in comment section. That's all. Thank you. Oh yes, please do subscribe and share my channel to get notification of my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.